It began with Sunday voices shaking the walls of tiny churches and Monday nights spilling that fire into basement clubs. A cracked mic, a trembling piano, a shout that cut through the smoke, nothing polished, everything real. Gospel leaned into rhythm, blues leaned into prayer, and suddenly the air was heavy with a sound that couldn't be held back. Before the world had a name for it, the streets were already moving to it. Good Rockin' Tonight by Wynonie Harris, 1948. Wynonie Harris's Good Rockin' Tonight dropped in 1948 and immediately shifted the landscape.
I heard the news, there's good rockin' tonight.
The song was originally written by Roy Brown a year earlier, but Harris's version took the jump blues template and gave it a sharper, harder edge.
I heard the news, there's good rockin' tonight.
His booming voice and driving backbeat made the track a jukebox staple and a #1 hit on the R&B chart. What made it so important was the energy, gospel-like shouting mixed with dance floor urgency. Most music historians consider this song one of the earliest bridges between rhythm and blues, and what would later become both rock and soul. Raw, confident, and unapologetic, it lit the fuse. "60-Minute Man" by the Dominoes, 1951. Released in 1951, 60-Minute Man was one of the boldest records of its era. Performed by Billy Ward and his group, the Dominoes, it mixed smooth gospel-style harmonies with lyrics that shocked radio censors.
60-minute man, there'll be 15 minutes on.
The lead singer, Bill Brown, bragged about his romantic stamina, making it one of the first hit records to feature overtly sexual themes. Many stations refused to play it, yet the controversy only fueled its popularity. It spent 14 weeks at #1 on the R&B chart and even broke into the pop chart, proving that rhythm and blues could cross over despite cultural taboos. Crying in the Chapel by the Orioles, 1953. Crying in the Chapel was first written and recorded in 1953 by Artie Glenn, with his son Daryl singing lead.
Crying in the chapel.
It became a regional success, but the Orioles quickly released their own version the same year, turning it into a national hit.
You saw me crying in the chapel.
Their smooth harmonies blended gospel's emotional pull with a pop-friendly doo-wop sound, giving the song a sacred quality outside of church walls. For soul and R&B history, it showed how spiritual themes and vocal group arrangements could break into mainstream charts. That crossover appeal laid vital groundwork for the gospel-rooted soul movement that followed in the 1960s. From gospel-tinged harmonies that slipped into the pop charts, up next comes a track so bold it was banned but still became a million seller. Work With Me Annie by Hank Ballard and the Midnighters, 1954. Released in 1954, Work With Me Annie became a massive R&B hit, but stirred controversy almost immediately. Hank Ballard's playful lyrics about romance and intimacy were considered too suggestive for radio, leading many stations to ban it.
Work with me, Annie. Let's get it.
Despite the ban, or perhaps because of it, the song sold over 1 million copies and topped the R&B chart. Its success showed how youthful audiences were ready for frank, energetic music that broke away from polite pop. It also inspired several answer songs, including Annie Had a Baby and Roll With Me, Henry.
Annie had a baby, can't work no more. Roll with me, Henry. Roll with me.
Proving how influential and marketable risque R&B could be. Please, Please, Please by James Brown and the Famous Flames, 1956. Released in 1956, Please, Please, Please was James Brown's debut single with the famous Flames. The song was built on a simple, repetitive plea, but Brown's raw, emotional delivery set it apart.
Please, honey, please, don't.
Inspired by a line scribbled on a napkin, the record didn't chart high initially, but it became a staple of Brown's live shows. His dramatic stage performances, falling to his knees, clutching the mic, turned the song into a blueprint for soul expression. It marked the arrival of a singer who would redefine rhythm and blues, showing how sheer vocal passion could carry a track into history. Drown in My Own Tears by Ray Charles, 1956. Drown in My Own Tears was originally written and recorded by pianist Lula Reed in 1951. But Charles transformed it into a slow, gospel-inspired ballad in 1956, and it became his first #1 hit on the R&B chart.
Oh, yes, in my own tears.
His church-trained vocal delivery, backed by piano and horns, made the song feel like a sermon of heartbreak. This was a turning point. Charles proved that sacred gospel techniques could drive secular music without losing emotional depth. The success of this single solidified his reputation as the genius of soul and opened the door for gospel-rooted R&B to dominate the charts. Coming up, after Ray Charles turned gospel into soul, Sam Cooke took that same spirit and gave it a voice for change. A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke, 1964. Recorded in late 1963 and released in 1964, A Change Is Gonna Come became one of Sam Cooke's most enduring works. Written after he was turned away from a whites-only motel, the song reflected both personal struggle and the wider civil rights movement.
A change gonna come. Oh, yes it will.
Musically, it blended lush orchestration with Cooke's gospel-rooted vocals, giving it the weight of both a prayer and a protest. Though it wasn't a huge commercial hit at first, but its lush strings and solemn tempo set a new bar for production in soul. While Cooke's emotional performance gave the genre its first true anthem of social conscience, more than a hit, it laid the foundation for how soul could be the soundtrack of a movement. I've Been Loving You Too Long by Otis Redding, 1965. Released in 1965 on Stax Records, I've Been Loving You Too Long became one of Otis Redding's defining performances. The track is crucial to soul history because it showcased the genre's ability to capture raw emotion through slow, deliberate build-up.
Ooh, I'm loving you.
Redding began almost whispering, then escalated into a pleading cry, supported by the dramatic swell of horns and rhythm section. This dynamic rise and fall became a hallmark of Southern soul. The song's success on both R&B and pop charts proved that unfiltered vulnerability could resonate with a wide audience. It cemented Redding as a leading figure in shaping deep soul expression. Respect by Aretha Franklin, 1967. Respect was originally written and recorded by Otis Redding. But Aretha Franklin transformed it into something entirely new in 1967, making her version one of the most pivotal songs in soul history. Aretha shifted the lyrics from a man's demand to a woman's declaration, turning it into both a feminist and civil rights anthem. Musically, the track is driven by her gospel-trained vocals, the punch of the Muscle Shoals rhythm section, and the unforgettable R-E-S-P-E-C-T breakdown. It reached #1 on both the R&B and pop charts, proving that soul could dominate mainstream culture while carrying powerful messages of pride and empowerment. Stay tuned. After Aretha demanded respect, one song of rumor and heartbreak would echo through Motown and become its biggest smash. I Heard It Through the Grapevine by Gladys Knight and the Pips, 1967. Few songs in soul history are as influential as I Heard It Through the Grapevine. Gladys Knight and the Pips first recorded it in 1967, delivering an urgent, gospel-driven performance that reached number 2 on the pop chart. A year later, Marvin Gaye's slower, haunting version pushed the song even further, topping both the R&B and pop charts for weeks and becoming Motown's best-selling single at the time. Together, these versions showed the genre's range, from church-like intensity to brooding sophistication. The song's crossover success cemented Motown as a powerhouse and proved solo could dominate the American soundscape. Try a Little Tenderness, Otis Redding, 1966. Another one by Otis Redding. Try a Little Tenderness was originally written in 1932 by Jimmy Campbell, Reg Connolly, and Harry M. Woods.
Try a little tenderness.
The song had been recorded as a smooth pop ballad by artists like Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra.
Try a little tenderness.
But Redding completely reimagined it in 1966. Backed by the Stax House Band, he began the track gently before pushing it into a fiery, gospel-inspired climax.
Try a little tenderness.
This dramatic build became a hallmark of soul, turning an old standard into something raw, immediate, and deeply personal. Redding's take remains one of the most celebrated soul ballads of all time. Papa's Got a Brand New Bag by James Brown, 1965. Released in 1965, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag marked a turning point not only for James Brown but for the direction of black music. Built on a stripped-down 12-bar blues form, the track shifted focus from melody to rhythm. The horn stabs, sharp guitar chords, and Brown's syncopated vocal style created an entirely new groove. This was the birth of funk, but it also reshaped soul, showing that rhythm and percussive drive could be the centerpiece of a song. The single hit number 1 on the R&B chart and crossed into the pop top 10, expanding the reach of Brown's innovations. Up next, after James Brown gave soul its groove, Marvin Gaye gave it a conscience. What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, 1971. Marvin Gaye's What's Going On arrived in 1971 at a time when Motown was known for polished love songs and dance hits. Instead, Gaye delivered a socially conscious track that addressed war, poverty, and injustice. Framed through the smooth textures of soul, the arrangement layered lush strings, soft percussion, and multi-tracked vocals, creating a more introspective sound than Motown had attempted before. Beyond its chart-topping success, the single expanded the possibilities of soul as a genre that could carry political and spiritual weight. It redefined Gaye's career and became one of the most influential recordings in modern music history. I'll Take You There by the Staple Singers, 1972. The Staple Singers' I'll Take You There came out in 1972 and became one of their biggest hits, topping both the R&B and pop charts.
I'll take you there. Oh, let me take you there.
Built on a simple but infectious bass line, the song relies on call and response vocals that echo the group's gospel roots. Unlike heavily orchestrated Motown tracks, This one kept the arrangement raw and groove-focused, with Mavis Staples' deep, commanding voice leading the way. Its lyrics offered hope and uplift, reflecting soul's ability to connect spiritual themes with everyday struggles. The track showed that even as soul grew more political and polished, gospel energy still pulsed at its core. Let's Stay Together by Al Green, 1972. Al Green's Let's Stay Together was released in late 1971 and rose to #1 on both the R&B and pop charts in early 1972. Produced by Willie Mitchell at High Records in Memphis, the track blended smooth strings, gentle horns, and a steady groove that framed Green's effortless falsetto.
Let's stay together.
What made it so important to soul history was how it shifted the sound. Where 1960s soul often leaned on gritty shouts and heavy horn-driven arrangements, this record proved that the genre could also thrive on smooth production, restrained instrumentation, and intimacy. It set the template for R&B throughout the 1970s. From Wynonie Harris in '48 to Al Green in '72, these 15 songs chart the rise of soul, taking gospel's fire, blues grit, and R&B's groove, and reshaping popular music forever. They weren't just hits. They redefined how voices, stories, and emotions could drive a genre. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. And drop your pick in the comments. Which song had the biggest impact on Soul's story? Thanks for watching. And if you want to keep exploring, check out our next video right here, because we are testing your soul knowledge with 12 forgotten one-hit wonders from 1973 you need to hear. Think you can name all 12?